Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sundays with the Sprinkles. I'm Brett Sprinkle. Joined with me is Brandon Shanahan. Brandon, looks like it's just us two tonight. It is September 29th. How are you, Brandon? How are you doing?
Doing great. Tyler's in international waters. Trevor's on a pole somewhere. I mean, nowhere else I'd rather be.
To be fair, Trevor's usually always on a pole somewhere. You know what I mean?
Well, in
He's
one way
doing.
or
He's
another.
usually doing tricks on it though.
Yeah, or sitting on one.
We're currently at halftime of the Sunday night football game. The Bills, excuse me, are getting trounced by the Ravens. Ravens look good. This is kind of like one of those weeks where everything goes back to its level. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, a
Yeah,
lot of the teams are going to be 8-9. A lot of the teams are going to be 9-8, and this kind of feels like that week where everyone kind of just shifted back to where the mean.
yeah. It's so. I've learned my lesson time and time before, particularly with the Chiefs. Of like, nothing really matters the first month of the season. It's kind of what happens in month 2 and 3 that really compound and make some noise.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw it with a few undefeated teams get beaten. The Steelers got beat by the Joe Flacco led Colts. That was exciting. Falcons came away, beat the Saints. Saints are coming back down to earth. The Bears finally got a good home W under their belt. Not the home W they had before. That was not what I would call a good home W. Vikings outlasted the Packers. There was a lot of good stuff in the early slate.
Yeah, I typically like to shit on the NFL for being like a bad and inferior product to college football, but today kind of rocked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad you brought up the Packers and the Vikings. I was convinced when I saw the Packers go out there to do a drop kick onside. I was like, "There's no way the Vikings win this game. This would be the funniest way for a team to lose." And if it was any other team than the Vikings, I'd be like, "This isn't gonna work." But I was wrong. It didn't. It's a new era in Minneapolis. The people are calling it Sambo Field now. Um,
I like
so
that.
that's so yeah, love that. So it's a new world.
Did you see that Aaron Jones was trying to start his own? I heard about this last week. He's trying to start his own Lambeau Leap in. They're calling it the what are they calling it?
The bank vault.
The bank vault. Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
that's so sick.
yeah, and it's I've seen a few different people have this conversation. It goes the exact same way. It's like, oh, he's trying to steal the Lambo lead. That's kind of lame. I mean, that's such a Green Bay thing. And then people say, well, he calls it the bank vault. Like, all right, that's sick.
That
That
should have
all
been. Yeah,
right,
that
we're
should have
all the way
been.
in.
They should have had that from the beginning. I
Yeah.
don't think Lambeau Leap should have ever existed, knowing that was out there. Breaking news! I just saw this tweet that I think you would love to hear. This one's from bench warmer Bran. Is at least Rashid Rice went out doing what he loved, ending a drive with a horrible collision and immediately leaving the scene. Obviously, Rashid Rice left the game. Hopefully, he's okay. We're not laughing at the injury, laughing at the tweet. But that's in the late slate. Let's get started with the early slate. Let's get started with the most exciting, the most nail biting game of the afternoon. Broncos 10, Jets 9. And boy, oh boy, did the Jets just fucking shoot themselves in the foot time and time and time again.
So I watched a football game this weekend where it was 0-0 going into halftime, and it was the worst piece of shit football I've ever seen. Three missed field goals, four missed field goals in the first half. Um, and I'm like, this is the same thing, just all over
I do
again.
know.
The that was the ugliest football game I've ever seen. And like, I like low scoring games. Like, I like good defense. I feel like it adds the level of intensity that you don't quite get in a shootout. Because like, oh well, they're just gonna go do the same thing. Like, oh, Georgia got a 75-yard touchdown run. Well, Alabama's gonna go get a 75-yard touchdown pass the next play. But like, a defensive battle is awesome. But this sucks. That sucked. That was awful. You're muted. You're still muted. I think this is the Brandon Shanahan show now. You're muted.
Yep, that's on me. Head up. Yeah, no, slippery ball. That's what I keep telling everybody. Slippery ball. Like,
Yeah,
it was raining out. Like, you get out there, sling a ball, sling the rock around when it's fucking wet as shit. It's tough.
yeah. I guess in this game they did have that where it was very slick. Um, MetLife Stadium is such a has such a shitty playing surface. Um, so yeah, that's yeah. So
And
I'll give that a big pass because it's not like Aaron Rodgers went out there and threw for 300 yards either.
No, dude, he struggled for most of the game, and he just started dinking and dunking it. He had one really, really good fucking throw, and I think you'll agree with me, where I thought we had him stopped. I think it was 3rd and 7, but Aaron Rodgers put it right over Will Barton's like
Yeah,
outstretched fingertips and just into Mike Williams' hands. Like that was an incredible throw.
I forgot Aaron Rodgers can do that.
Yeah, I know, right? Like
I was
he
like, who is this
fucking
middle-aged man playing quarterback for the Jets? And I mean, I also had Joe Flacco on the other screen. I'm like, oh, they're the same. And then yeah, I saw that pass. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I get it now.
yeah, but Bo Nix 12 for 25, 60 yards passing. Aaron Rodgers 24 of 42, 225 yards passing. But you know, at the end of the day, Bo Nix 1-0 in his career against Aaron Rodgers. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, no kidding. And there's a lot of I saw a couple of tweets because of Sean Payton's comments about Nathaniel Hackett last year. Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers, I guess, was upset that he couldn't beat the Broncos last year.
Yeah.
So this one was personal for him and for Bo Nix and his I don't know what you said 60 68 yards of passing yards come in and steal a win. After basically trying to give it to you, they missed a 50-yard field goal. All Aaron Rodgers had to do was get a couple of first downs
Yep.
and then game over. But
No, dude, I'm telling you, this defense is fucking elite. PJ Locke is becoming another one of those safeties that I just Denver always has those safeties that just
yeah,
love thumping people. Saw it with Kareem Jackson. I mean, Steve
love Kareem
Atwater back in the
Jackson,
day. Fucking
John Lynch.
John Lynch, Brian Dawkins. We even had for a little bit,
That's
but it's
right.
like just who?
No, I just said that's right.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Broncos
like,
was gonna be
there's
John
one
Lynch.
other guy I'm missing. I feel like Kareem Jackson. It was right before Kareem Jackson. He played with the. Did Kareem Jackson play with the 2015 Broncos?
No, T.J. Ward.
TJ Ward, yes, another guy
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, yeah, those guys were fucking dope. And like, so Denver always ends up with one of those guys, and PJ Locke has quickly become one of those guys.
that's right, dude. That rocks. I want to give a lot of credit to Vance Joseph. I mean, that defense is humming. For a
What a
defense to give up
game plan.
70 points in a game last year, it's
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable. And you could just see that the Jets were just unprepared for what Vance Joseph was throwing at them. Because I don't think the Broncos are necessarily crazy, like high talent. Like they don't have a Nick Bosa or they don't have a T.J. Watts or I guess Pat Surtain is elite. But outside of that, I mean, there's no like 1-2 punch that you got to get away from. But everybody's just good, and it's a good scheme, well designed. They time everything out well. It's just a well-oiled machine. And even with Alex Singleton being dead, it's gone just fine. Which I was kind of nervous about because he's an animal. I love Alex Singleton. Um, so missing him stinks, but it didn't seem like they missed much of a beat.
No, like they didn't at all. And I know we just picked up a couple guys, put them on through them on the practice squad. Kendricks is one of them. But yeah, no, they look really good. Patrick Tan had another immaculate game. Tyler and I were harping on him early in the season, because of all the pass interferences. But I mean, he's just putting up incredible. He's stopping people from putting up any numbers whatsoever. I will say that one catch that not Malik, Garrett Wilson had, that was on the sideline, just a fucking dot from Aaron Rodgers. There was literally nothing Pat Surtain could do in that moment. Like that was one of those throws. It's like, oh fuck, we might actually. I mean, I keep forgetting that Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen him for so long, and now he looks like
Yeah,
Celtic
yeah.
Shaq in the Jets uniform. So I'm like, he's not going to be good. And I don't think he's MVP good, but yeah, he had a couple of throws. I'm like, oh yeah, there he is.
Buddy can still sling it around.
Yeah,
That's for sure. Brees Hall had a fucking all time dog shit game.
I you'll appreciate this. So I have Braylon Allen on my team. I started him for
Yeah.
the first time today. He had I think like a whopping 5.9 points,
Hmm.
but outscored Brees Hall. So I sent our teammate Brooke a trade 1-for-1, and then I get his first round pick and Brees Hall for Braylon Allen. He rejected it in no more than 5 seconds, but I thought it was a fair deal. If you want the higher performing Jets back, and he's a rookie, I don't know. I thought it was a good deal.
Sounds like a good deal to me. I don't know what he's so butthurt about, but his butthurt Brooke happens to him all the time, from what I understand. What else? Is there anything else worth noting? We finally got a run game going. Javonte Williams finally ran for more than 2 yards a carry. So did McLaughlin. Yeah, there's pretty much not much else to say. The defense is fucking elite, and I love to see it. Yeah, we did almost give that a game away with that missed field goal, but I mean, tough conditions. I knew. I mean, there's a more than likely chance that he misses it at that in that situation. I'm happy that they returned the favor.
The amount of missed field goals I've seen this weekend is unbelievable.
Yeah, and we were told kicking was elite now. Remember? It's like, oh, everyone's making all of them.
And like, yeah, Aubrey goes out for 70 yards, like no big deal. And I'm like, okay, not when my teams are involved for some reason.
All right, next game. Ooh, yeah, let's talk about the Saints Falcons game. That was one of those games where it felt like every time red zone cut to it, it felt like something good was happening to the Falcons, especially in the first half. Like, they had that tipped interception that can't remember if they took it. I think they took it all the way back, and there was just a lot of good stuff happening to the Falcons. But this game just kept staying close. Like Derek Carr, the Derek Carr led Saints, man, they're a force to be reckoned with. They can put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, it's that was such a good, like a fun football game, and with just the two of the least fun teams I could possibly think of. Oh, it's a quarterback showdown with Derek Carr and Kirk Cochains. But it turned out to be a great game. Um, yeah, the Saints are a problem, and I didn't expect that. I thought they were going to be bad.
Sorry, I got caught. I don't know why I'm so knee deep into this Rashid Rice thing. So apparently Rashid Rice went out when Patrick Mahomes just fucking laid him out. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so somebody said, let me tell you, if Daniel Jones did this Malik Neighbors, they'd have to put him in protective custody. And like that was just the truest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, back to your point, like, isn't it crazy that Alvin Kamara is just still one of the best running backs in the league? And it feels like he's like 33. I think he's only 27?
I got a video to show you about Rasheed Rice. You can see it okay?
20. Yeah.
Okay, I guess you got to see the caption. Mahomes seeing Rasheed Rice get the strip.
That's great. I love that. So apparently Alvin Kamara is 29 because he's 1 year younger than me. So I mean, not the youngest running back in the world, but he's incredible. He's insane.
Yeah, I would have guessed over. How old is Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry, I honestly think he's 29 as well.
Derrick Henry is.
I'll look it up.
I'll race it. 30. Okay, so yeah, okay, so I figured they're the same age ish or the same like I don't know class.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, yeah, I mean, but 30 is crazy old for a running back, right?
Nowadays, but I mean, the way Derrick Henry's built and the way he takes care of himself, because running backs usually small in stature, that's why you see them kind of wear down faster. But Derrick Henry's built like a fucking brick shit house. That's my theory, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Derrick Henry is a different beast than like the average human being. Because yeah, Le'Veon Bell is 32, and he's had to have been out of the league for a long time, three
Yeah, I
years
know, right?
already.
Yeah,
And those last 2 or 3 years were dog shit.
I mean, hell, even fucking uh Dalvin Cook, like like he was. I think he was barely out of the year for half out of the league for half a year, and then he just fucking comes back and sucks dick.
29.
Crazy.
Okay, so yeah, 30 is ancient for running backs.
Yeah, no shit, especially nowadays.
And Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry. Well, and Alvin Kamara is the surprising one. Because, I mean, like I said, Derrick Henry is a different type of human. But Alvin Kamara having as great of a year as he is crazy to me.
Brandon, let me ask you a question. How many catches do you think Kyle Pitts had today?
The only reason why I know this is because I was doing our Big 12 show with Drew Russell, who has Kyle Pitts on his team.
Mm-hmm.
At 0.
It was
Yeah,
0. It was absolutely nothing. And
I,
nobody's cooking fucking who's their coach now? Fuck, what's his name? Raheem Morris. Nobody's cooking Raheem Morris like they were what's his face? God damn,
oh
I
yeah,
can't remember
Arthur
anybody's
Smith.
name tonight. Arthur Smith.
Yeah, that's because I was looking because we were done with the podcast and I was looking up my fantasy team. I'm like, I wonder how Drew's doing. Oh, he's doing pretty good. Oh, Kyle Pitts 0 points. Did he get hurt? Did what was he inactive? No, he was a full participant. Got it.
Played
It
almost
was a
every snap. Yep.
full cardio day.
So let me ask you this, and we're gonna get to Anthony Richardson in a minute.
I love me
What
some Anthony Richardson.
what do you think it says about everyone else that we're seeing this Florida team and the way they've ran their program these past few years? That everyone just keeps saying these players that come from this program that everyone just fucking is disgusted with are going to be elite level talents, and they're just letting the wool being pulled over their eyes. Kyle Pitts, bust. I'm ready to call
Yeah,
that bust.
bust.
Anthony Richardson, he just loves throwing himself in harm's way so that way he doesn't have to play football. And he just doesn't want to play football. Like, that's all it is. Like, that's my opinion. That's my theory. I just don't think he likes playing football that much, but he's just too talented not to. Like, he's like, well, I don't know what else to do. So he just does enough to where he gets hurt, and he's going to get a big contract. He's going to get $60 million a year at some point.
So I do put those two individuals. I mean, I'm glad you bring this up because you're
I
absolutely
figured you
spot
would
on.
be. I figured you would be.
But I think these guys are in two different categories. Kyle Pitts, um, I could see the vision. I could see why people would look at him. Oh, he had 12 touchdowns his last year at Florida. He averaged 96 yards a game. I mean, outstanding stuff. And that was a shortened COVID year too. So 8 games he played, averaged 96 yards. So I can see All American. I can see the vision. He was very good in college. He's got a lot of the tools that you'd expect. I can't answer why he's not good now. I don't. I could not tell you. Anthony Richardson, on the other hand, was not good in college. He was not a good college quarterback, and I know people see Josh Allen and thought, okay, he got pushed around by like 73 yards when he played against Iowa. Like he was bad in college, and now he's the best quarterback in football. But people see that and think, oh, well, just because Will Levis was bad in college, excuse me, Will Levis, just because Malik Willis was bad in college, or just because Anthony Richardson was bad in college, doesn't mean they can't translate and be good pros. That's not true. Josh Allen's a unicorn. Anthony Richardson was never good at football, and shame on the Colts for using a top 5 pick on Anthony Richardson.
Oh yeah, just so gross, just doing it. Well, Anthony Richardson is Jaden Daniels is everything they wanted Anthony Richardson to be.
Yeah. Jay Daniels is so funny to me. I'm happy that he's a good quarterback, but he still just takes. Or I don't know what it was like this week, but I know last week he just took the comically unnecessary hit for no reason, just like he did in college. This is so funny to
I
me.
saw that stat like near the end of the Bengals game, and it was like rushing yards 77, slides 1.
But I mean, you don't have to be Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy level good to be in the NFL. People come from all different backgrounds in college, but the common theme is that you have to at least be a good college quarterback, unless you're Josh Allen, and there's only one of him.
I don't know. Like, I don't think I know the stats say he wasn't that good, but like he had his moment. Like you know what he did? He just played more games. I mean, Anthony Richardson, he barely played. Like, what, he came out sophomore, redshirt sophomore, right? Like, he came out super early. I think he only played 17 games in college. Is that a
Yep.
correct stat?
Yeah, I think
Like,
so.
Josh Allen started pretty much all 4 years. Like, he played. I mean, he was allowed to get better, and scouts can see the improvement and realize that there was going to be a ceiling. This one was just an complete and utter reach. And I guess we'll move on to talk about the Colts game. This was, I mean, the Anthony Richardson was just a complete and utter reach based off of, the data that you're talking about. But yeah, like you said, like it's not something you can bank the entire future of your franchise on.
Yeah, and I guess it's this arm talent thing that Patrick Mahomes has started, and I guess Josh Allen as well, where we'll see a guy who can, I don't know, throw an orange 70 yards or whatever,
100
and
yards, actually.
yeah, 100 yards, and I think they're going to
Shout
be
out
great
Joe
NFL
Milton. Hey,
quarterbacks.
start Joe Milton in
Dude,
New
I need
England.
it. He's sitting on
I-
my taxi squad. I need him. Um, but we see these guys with crazy arm strength. And I'm like, that's never been like the thing that matters. I mean, it's nice to have if you're Josh Allen and you're playing in Buffalo, New York, and they're spending $2 billion on a stadium and still make you play outdoors. That's nice. That's it's almost got to be a must. But
Imagine building a stadium that you can't hold a Super Bowl at. Like, I don't know why you would ever want to do that.
I'm still flabbergasted by it because why it's such an objective thing that quarterbacks who play in domes are better off. And now that Josh Allen has to, I mean, best case scenario, they get the number one seed. Oh, good. Now you have to go play in the bitter cold in New York in
Mm-hmm.
January. Have fun, bozo. Same reason
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers
nobody's
only
enjoying that.
only has one Super Bowl ring. I promise you, if he had played in a dome. Now Lambeau's a different story. Lambeau and Soldier Field are different stories because they're like cathedrals. But when you're spending $2 billion to build a brand new stadium, that's what gets me.
And you're using
That's what
public
gets me.
money, like you might as well let the public get the kickback from all the goddamn travel. Like I understand
Yeah,
Buffalo isn't the most. It's not going to be the most. It's not going to be in the rotation, but you could throw Buffalo in there for a Super Bowl. I feel like get the town some revenue.
yeah,
Not anymore.
yeah. Have fun.
But speaking of the Colts, 27, they beat the Steelers. Colts are now 2-2. Steelers now 3-1. Justin Fields, he
He
made
was
one
awesome.
really big mistake, but he's playing really fucking well.
He's really good. Yeah, he's been really good. And I was kind of hoping to see one because he's on my fantasy football team, but I feel like this was kind of the best situation for him because he's not going to have to drop back and throw 40 times a game. That's never been how the Steelers win football games. They play defense to run the football. Justin Fields can also run the football very well, and
Mm-hmm.
I think when you simplify things and um, handle play calling that way, it's absolutely a better recipe for success. It's funny to me that they won't just admit that Justin Fields is the better quarterback than
They're
Russell
trying to
Wilson.
stroke Russ's ego. I mean, we know how that goes.
Well, for what, dude? He's on a 1 year deal. You're paying him 12 cents in a Subway foot long. If you hurt his ego, so what, dude? He's off your team next year.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but it's just I don't know. It's bizarre. I think maybe in case I think after I honestly don't know. Like, why even placate that man? Like, he wasn't good. Like, he objectively was fine. He was fine last year. I'll give him fine. But it's like I not the way Justin Fields is playing, and the because if
Yeah,
Justin Fields ends up being the guy, he's only been in the league 4 years.
yeah. This is the best case scenario for the Steelers that Justin Fields
Absolutely, because you don't
is
have to go
good.
out and get an unknown, like because you already have somebody in house working through the playbook who's already a veteran, already shown
And
flashes.
and if you really play your cards right, three more say you get Justin Fields a fairly reasonable contract over the next 3 years. 4 years from now, Caleb Williams is going to be available, and then you just restart the process.
True. See, now you're cooking.
I,
Yeah, it's just bizarre that Mike Tomlin just wanted to because you're right. This is everything the Steelers have kind of needed. Like Justin Fields has all the tools to be a dual threat quarterback. I think he's a better runner than he is passer, but he's showing that he can be a really good passer when it matters.
well, like they won a million games with Ben Roethlisberger. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't think Justin Fields is like if you can win
and
a
that was
million,
old. Like they won a million games with
yeah,
old Big Ben.
yeah. So if you can do that with Ben Roethlisberger, I feel like that exact kind of formula is going to be good for Justin Fields. And he's also much more athletic. And he's also a better quarterback. And he's also a nicer human. So I don't understand what the what's the deal with Russ is, but it is pretty silly to me. Have you ever seen anybody have such a steep drop off? Because he was on a Hall of Fame track when he got to Denver, and
Yeah,
now
no,
he's a laughing stock.
yeah, and I don't think he gets in, does he?
I don't think
Maybe the
so.
fourth ballot type thing, but
No, I don't think so. I think okay, because the Hall of Fame track was like as long as he
he
keeps
had to
like
win a
having
Super Bowl.
his
He had to win another Super Bowl, I think, is what people were saying.
had to win a Super Bowl or
Like
like
another
at
one,
least
yeah.
just keep being as productive because he was
Yeah.
3,500 passing yards, three and
Oh
a half
shit.
touchdowns to an interception. Like he was what I
Josh
miss.
Allen doing his thing. I'm a
Josh
little
Allen's so
behind the
good.
broadcast, so
What
Josh Allen will pump fake double move down the field.
what
What's
score app do you use on your cell phone?
I used a few. I have ESPN, I have CBS Sports. Those are the main two that I use. The one I'll check is probably ESPN the most, just because that's what I've always done.
I It's very frustrating because Apple Sports is so clean and
Really?
it's very nice and it because you can set and there's no ads, which is a good part. 'Cause like this is what my screen looks like. It's just scores. If you need stats, you can go in there. But it does. it does one thing that keeps it from being on the home screen, and that's you can't see what channel the game is on.
Yep, and that's one thing that ESPN has made the switch to, and I'm very thankful for. Like they're
Yeah,
always showing
that's
what channel the game's on.
especially college football because it's like there's a million channels now, and if I can't figure out what to watch, I mean, I got six
Time is
screens.
money, baby.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. It's a bummer because it's a very good experience and I'm happy with it, but it can't be on the home screen.
Apple Sports, never heard of it. Another one I like is, and you should get this too. It's fuck, where is it? I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh, there it is. Trade rumors. Trade rumors.
Like an app.
I like that app. Yeah. So it's an app called Trade Rumors. You can do MLB, Pro Football, and then set your favorite teams too. It's Trade Rumors. Basically, it's just rumor mill stuff, like rumor mill stuff.
Okay.
Like this player's going on IR, this player's being shopped around. These are the teams that are looking to buy. Just a lot of insider information, and you get the push notifications. Keeps me informed.
That's pretty cool. Um, not football related, but I think I mastered the best way to follow the Mets. If I open up TikTok and it's Frank the Tank having a meltdown, I know the Cubs lost that day. If I don't see a video of Frank the Tank that day, I know the Cubs won. It
You
got
talk about the Mets.
yeah, it talked about the Mets. I get to 7 o'clock. I open TikTok, scroll for 15 minutes. I'm like, I haven't seen Frank the Tank today. Check the Mets won 5-0 over the Brewers. I'm like,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
that's all I
Yep.
needed, and that to me is the perfect way to follow the New York Mets.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen tomorrow. Is so my birthday is at tomorrow. The Mets are playing a doubleheader against the Braves. If they win one of those games, just one, they're in the playoffs. They just have to win one out of two. Statistically, doubleheaders get split at an astronomical. I want to say almost 80% of the time, doubleheaders get split. However, it's the goddamn Braves. It's the fucking Mets. And I am so fucking scared that we're just not going to win one goddamn game tomorrow and we're going to be bounced from the playoffs on day 163 because these are just makeup games because of the goddamn hurricane last week.
That would be
I'm
heartbreaking.
I'm about to be fucking sweating. So if the Broncos winning today, if like we would have lost that game, this would have been a tough week.
Tough week. That's a tough place to be.
Yep. So biggest rivals, biggest day. Then we go the very next day and play. If we do win one, we go back to Milwaukee to the team that's beaten the fuck out of us all goddamn season. They won't stop beating us. Can't stop, won't stop.
Um, so is this a bet? I'm not a huge baseball guy, so I'm really looking to
Mm-hmm.
lean on your expertise. Is it
Mm-hmm.
is it bad? Because if this happened in football or basketball or any other sport, I think it would be bad. Is it bad if you fire your coach or manager, as they call it in baseball, hire your rival's coach, and then miss the playoffs, but your rival's team who you stole that coach from makes the playoff? Is that bad?
It's not great. I think that's the category that would fall under. Not
Not great.
ideal, some would say.
Okay. That again, that feels generous.
And of course, you can't be talking about the Cubs and the Brewers, right?
I'm just speaking hypothetically. If the
Mm-hmm.
shoe fits somewhere, then that would be pretty embarrassing. I would imagine.
Shout out Craig Counsell.
Hmm.
To be fair, the Cubs never really had the squad. I will say the Brewers, being as good as they were this year, I did not see coming because I just thought they were just calling up a bunch of young guys and kind of just having a rebuilding year. Nope, they just kept winning. They swept the Mets first series of the year, and then they just never stopped winning. 95 wins this season, crazy.
That's pretty good.
Yep. Moving back to football, Joe Flacco did come in, have a resurgence, 16 for 26, two tutters, looking good out there. Colts looked good. Michael Pittman Jr. had a good game. Jonathan Taylor, they looked pretty good. Steelers wouldn't go away, though. They started to come back at the end, scored 14 points in the fourth quarter, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, if your team looks better with Joe Flacco than your starting quarterback, I think you have a quarterback problem. I
Mm.
think that's a pretty safe bar. I'm a science guy. I like seeing patterns. I like to see things happen more than once before coming to a conclusion. We've now seen this
Mm-hmm.
happen twice now where the team has a quarterback and then they get hurt and they have 87-year-old Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco is better than their other quarterback.
87-year-old Joe Flacco. Isn't it crazy that he used to play for the Broncos?
Oh,
People
because
forget.
he was old then,
Yeah, I know. We thought he was over the hill.
and and he was. We were right,
Yeah.
and here he is, 10 years later. That's so funny. I forgot all about that. That's a good way to look at it, time wise.
Yep. Yep. Yes, I mean, good for him. He should be the Colts. He should be the future franchise quarterback for the Colts for the foreseeable future. That's what I say. But do we have any word on the Anthony Richardson injury? Like, is he?
It didn't look good. It was a. I think they ruled it a hip,
Mm,
which I mean that
those are
doesn't.
usually good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great. Especially because part of what makes him so, what gets people so excited is his athleticism. We kind of. I know you got two of them, but you got to have two really high performing hips, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And yeah, we just have to watch him throw, no shot, because
Yeah.
I mean, he went 3 for 4 today. Good for him. If he would have kept playing, it probably would end up being 3 for 12. That's what I love about Anthony Richardson. Moving on to the next game, Bears 24, Rams 18. Caleb Williams just refuses to throw for yards at home. Do you think he's scared of Chicago?
I don't know what the deal with Caleb Williams is. I was really high on him. Um,
I still am. I think he'll be all right.
but I, eh, all right. I think he'll be. I think it's a Bears thing,
Yeah.
and I can't explain it because I don't think anybody was as built to succeed day one as Caleb Williams, and they have invested a lot around him. At Eberflus is an offensive guy. They got
Eberflus defensive guy.
is he really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they got who they do have is the wide receiver coach from Seattle, Shane Steichen, I think is his
Oh,
name.
that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it hasn't looked good. Hasn't looked good yet. And now that is not, it doesn't mean anything, but it's just the ceiling and the expectations are so high. I don't think he's gonna meet those, which is a problem.
I still think it's early. I think he'll be at least the third best quarterback out of that draft class. Behind, I'll give Jaden Daniels number one, but Bo Nix, what he's showing us, first
Yeah.
touchdown today.
I still can't get
Not to bring
over
it back to the Broncos, but
I still can't get over how different he looks like last week and this week compared to the first 2 weeks.
yeah, but it's just more of like, oh, yeah, you're talking about like poise wise, like just knowing what he's
Yeah.
doing type thing. Okay.
Yeah, he just because he just looks so uncomfortable, and like Tyler exposed my text message to him, thinking like maybe he shouldn't be playing if he looks this disjointed and this uncomfortable. To
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden like figure it out in a week is unbelievable to me.
He locked in, dude. That's all you got to do. Like sometimes people will forget. There's just lock in. Just focus up.
Just
Going back to the
that's
Bears,
all he did.
that's all he did. Going back to the Bears, will forever be dubbed as the DeAndre Swift game because boy, oh boy, did my fucking fantasy team need it. He was benched this week because I just couldn't handle another 3-point performance, but he went off. 93 yards rushing, a touchdown, followed that up with 7 catches, 72 yards. Like he's
Whoa,
fucking balled out.
that
They,
rocks.
yeah, they got like close to 23 points. So yeah, that's good for me going forward. I hope, God, I better be fucking winning. If I lose this week, every time I score a ton of points, the other guy scores a ton of points.
Oh yeah. You
Thank
know,
God I'm playing Murphy though. No, I'm playing
no, I'm playing
Tyler.
Murphy.
I'm playing
Fortunately.
Tyler. Okay, fuck you, Tyler, you little bitch.
um, I did realize the problem, and this is very insider baseball because not anybody who listens to this is in our fantasy league. Austin's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, he always is, dude. He's the worst.
That stinks. He's unbelievable. He scored 200 points last week. He's got 155 right now. He's going to finish second in total points this week. I mean, to me, of course.
Of
But I'm
course.
also 1-2, so I don't think I'm a problem yet. But
Yeah, I'm about to be
yeah,
one
he's a
and
problem.
three. Ugh. It's gonna be. Oh, yeah, actually, I lied. DeAndre Swift had 29.5 points.
Well,
So
at least you'll get a good first round pick in next year's draft, right? And I can patch up a hole.
Listen, I did what I thought was right, but I mean, if I have to, I'll sell off a couple old guys. Like I can get rid of DJ Moore, no problem. I get rid of Tank Dell. Maybe flip those for a couple first rounders. Get back in the game.
I'm rooting for you.
Who's coming out this year that I need skill player wise?
There's Shooter Sanders. You can get him.
Shooter Sanders, I'm definitely getting him. So fuck off. And then also, what's his face from Missouri?
Brady Cook.
Nope, best wide receiver
Luther
in the
Burden.
league. Yeah, Luther Burden, my boy, come here.
I feel like if you're gonna go wide receiver, you got to start tanking for 2 years from now.
Why?
Ohio State's Jeremiah Smith is an absolute unit.
Well, who's that fucking kid, the 17-year-old from Alabama
And
that just
then there's that
torched
guy.
the entire Bulldog defense last night?
Yeah, that's an unbelievable wide receiver class. So
Yeah,
if wide receivers on your mind, I think you just start tanking now and just get them. Because the way that people talk about this Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, it's like, yeah, we saw Marvin Harrison and thought that he was a generational talent, and this guy's better.
Yeah,
So that's awesome. I love that. Oh, what
They said, bro, hit the hip hip hooray. Oh, it's great. I love it. Yeah, I mean, nothing else needs to be said about this game. This was I don't really care about any of the Rams in this game. Like they did what they could. I don't know. Matthew Stafford just doesn't look that comfortable this year. I mean, all of his weapons are out. I don't blame him, but really nothing else you can do about it.
Yeah.
Next up, we did touch on it earlier. Vikings 31, Packers 29. The Vikings took a huge lead in the first half, jumped out 28-0. And then the Packers ended up closing the gap. 22-point score in the fourth quarter, couldn't quite get it done. You said the punt, the drop kick, onside kick. You thought the nail was in the coffin for the Vikings.
I thought there was no shot. This is such a stereotypical Vikings loss. Oh, we were up 4 touchdowns in Lambeau, and they had went on a drop kick, onside kick.
Insane. And I saw a tweet from you earlier today. It's like, can you imagine, or I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was something along the lines of, we interviewed Nathaniel Hackett and Kevin O'Connell, and we decided to go with Nathaniel Hackett. True. So fucking true.
Yeah. I mean, because the dream head coach is somebody who can make any quarterback work. I mean, we're seeing it with Andy Reid. He took Donovan McNabb to a Super Bowl, revived Mike Vick, got some loser out of Texas Tech who barely made a bowl game every weekend. Now he's okay. And looks like Kevin O'Connell is doing the same thing. I mean, he had Kirk O'Chains. Kirk looked awesome last year, and then all of a sudden he had Sam Darnold as a backup for $10 million to J.J. McCarthy, who also stinks. And I'm bummed that we didn't get to see that this year. But if anybody's going to make him not stink, it's going to be Kevin O'Connell, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And he could – I did – and I'm glad you brought up that tweet, because what do you think would have happened if the Broncos did hire him? Because do you think that we still go get Russell Wilson, or do you think he turns Drew Lock into a top 10 quarterback?
I think we still go get Russell Wilson, unfortunately, because I don't think that had anything to do with the coach. I think that had everything to do with ownership. They wanted a guy, a franchise quarterback, as it were, and they didn't want to take any chances, as it were. So I think that it would have happened no matter what. Did Josh Allen just fumble? Yes, he did. Josh Allen special, baby.
And then, so follow up to that, Russell Wilson's still a Denver Bronco if that happens, right?
Yeah, I think, he probably plays a lot better too. Because like the year with Nathaniel Hackett, it was such a fucking bad taste in your mouth. Like you just couldn't shake it off. Because I mean, we talk about it sometimes. He didn't have a bad year last year. It's just that mixed with the first year and everything you gave up for him. Like there was no fucking way, no matter what, unless he literally won an MVP last season, it wasn't going to be good enough.
Yeah, I thought, and now stats aren't the whole story because of how often he would take sacks and how often Tyler likes to mention that he fumbles the football. Those things don't show up in the stat, but he did have a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. That is the best of the Broncos have had since Peyton Manning. And yet he was still so bad doing everything else.
Yup. Ooh. Do you think, all right, here's one. I don't know why it would happen if we wouldn't have. Oh, God damn it. I keep forgetting that that's why we hired Nathaniel Hackett, because we wanted Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers a Broncos quarterback if we hire Kevin O'Connell?
That'd be so funny.
He's like, he knew. He's like, I don't want to watch. I can't watch Goldmember one more time. I can't watch Austin Powers anymore. Yes, give me Kevin O'Connell, please. And then he shows up in New York after he gets fired by the Broncos. He's like, fuck, this guy. God damn it. But yeah, really good game from this standpoint. Jordan Love fucking went off. Coming back, sprained MCL, 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions is tough, but no match for Sam Darnold. That's for sure.
Is there a quarterback controversy brewing in Green Bay?
Yeah, I mean, so here's a blind test. We love doing blind tests here on Sundays with the Sprinkles. Quarterback A, 2-0 on the season. Quarterback B, 0-2 on the season. Which quarterback are you going with?
Oh man, that's tough. Boy, if I had some more context, I feel like I might go the other way, but I'm gonna go 2-0. 2 wins.
You're going with 2-0?
Yeah, 2.
You just went with Liberty University alum Malik Willis.
What?
Crazy, right?
Malik Willis.
Yeah.
I mean, who's 0-2? They must stink.
Well, you'd think he'd stink, but he's actually one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league right now. It's Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, system quarterback Jordan Love.
System quarterback Jordan Love. Yeah, that ownership just comes with its own system.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's what people. I know that's not what system quarterback means, but they haven't had a bad quarterback in 40 years. I mean, what else could explain that, other than having a system that every single quarterback you draft is successful, or even just pick up off the.
It's like street, like Mike Holmgren left the recipe on the desk somewhere, and everyone like you just keep giving it, like put it in the soup jacket of the next guy that comes next. Like I don't understand what's going on up there, but they seem to be doing it right all the time. Next game, Tampa Bay 33, Philadelphia 16. Do the Eagles stink?
I think the Eagles stink. I don't know what it is though. Philly fans think it's the coach. It might be.
Who do you think it is?
I'm in process of elimination. I hate fans who are just like, oh, this team sucks. It's the coach's fault. Oh, the quarterback, you just bench the quarterback. Like, dummy. This is the best that they have. Oh. It feels very lazy. And that's kind of what the vibe in Philly feels like, is the second that stinks, they're a bum. But I like Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's the problem. I guess A.J. Brown hasn't played, so I guess you could probably put it on him. They also have Devontae Smith, so their offense with Saquon Barkley should be fine. I don't know.
I'll tell you what the problem is that fucking front seven, it fucking blows dick.
Is that what it is?
Dude, their front seven stinks. Like, yeah, they had 2 sacks today, but like they gave up over 100 rushing. They gave up 50 rushing yards to 2 different running backs. They allowed 347 passing yards. He dropped back 47 times. He's only sacked twice. Like, that's not ideal if you're a defense.
Yeah, they have an Iowa corner. That's why they stink.
Well, he hasn't been playing, so he isn't eligible to play. We have a fucking white defensive back, and he's actually playing really fucking well. So put some respect on my board. He did not almost blow the game. He was playing defense. Come on. Can we just be like be on the same team about one thing just one time, please?
There was a picture circulating from last week. In Iowa burner Twitter, it was Cooper DeJean over Trey Palmer, and that fucking makes my blood boil. I've never seen a picture, like a sick picture of somebody on my favorite football team, the Denver Broncos, and been so fucking angry about it. Like it was like after a pass that Riley Moss had broken up against Trey Palmer. And I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Another touchdown from the Ravens. It looks like this is their game to lose, going up 20-10. Trying to think of other things to talk about. Mike Evans still really fucking good.
Yeah.
Buccaneers.
Mayfield on the bench.
This Buccaneers. The hottest team in football right now, hands down, is the Denver Broncos. So the fact that the Buccaneers were able to bounce back from a tough loss like that to such a superior opponent, still come back with confidence to come and get a victory against the Eagles, Super Bowl contending Eagles. It kind of just makes the Broncos look that much better. Wouldn't you agree?
Can I do a Tyler Sprinkle impression real quick?
Please, please.
Um, my name is Tyler Sprinkle. Um, letdown games don't exist.
Ooh.
Bounce back games don't exist. Hangover games don't exist. Look ahead games don't exist. My name is Tyler Sprinkle, and I approve this message.
Wow, Tyler, I thought you were on a boat. So where'd he go? I didn't see. Where'd he go? Yeah, no, you're right. Bounce back games don't exist, but I don't know. Something happened in
It
this one
happens
because the
all the
Buccaneers look
time.
good. Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. Like, the Rams, look at the Rams. They had to throw everything out with the kitchen sink game. They won, and then they lost the next week. They were just exhausted. Letdown game.
And like the real problem is that he had like casually mentioned that, and then Brooke and I clowned on him for it, and now he's just digging his heels in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Now this
Like a
is
true
he's gonna take it
sprinkle.
to his grave.
Hey, they don't call it Sundays with the sprinkles for no reason. Um, Going to the next game though, Bengals 34, Panthers 24. Joe Burrow looks fine. Bengals looked good. Andy Dalton though, I kind of like him. I kind of like him back there as the signal caller for Carolina.
Oh man, what do you do if you're the Panthers? Because like,
I mean, what do you? They've already done it. Like, you can't go back to. You have to trade him. They should have traded him last week.
oh my gosh, it's because like one game is like okay, well he's a pro, he steps in. I mean Joe Flacco does this every year now, where he comes in. Has Josh Dobbs had a great game for 3 different teams one year, um, but yeah, Andy Dalton looked awesome again.
We're gonna see what happens. Going back to Bryce Young. We're gonna see what happens tomorrow in Miami.
That's a good point.
If Miami comes out and plays like they did in Seattle, they're gonna be if they weren't calling the Panthers this week, they're gonna be calling the Panthers next week, trying to get something. Because what does Mike McDaniels run? He runs a West Coast style offense. West Coast style offense, they're really good at the play action, really good at misdirection, also good at getting the quarterback outside the pocket. What do you do with a 5'8" quarterback? You get him outside the goddamn pocket. And every time I saw Bryce Young drop back in Carolina, he was in the pocket, and I don't know how anyone thought that that's a good idea.
That's true. That's a good point. I think that would be as good of a fit as one could imagine. But if I'm the Dolphins, wouldn't I rather call the Steelers about Russell Wilson or the Broncos about Zach Wilson?
Broncos about Zach Wilson, possibly just because of how. I mean, he didn't play much in preseason, but he played. He looked good in what he did play. Russell Wilson, I mean, I don't know if you can get a 7th rounder for him, sure.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, who gives me the best chance to win this year? There's nothing that Bryce Young has shown that this would be a waste of a year. Could he develop under Mike McDaniel? I think that would be cool. I think that would be a good fit for him. Um,
It's just
if
kind
they're
of a question up for their scouts, though. It's like, do we think this guy can succeed right away if we put him in place, position to succeed, and B, kind of develop in our system? Because like once he's traded, they don't have to pay any of that bonus money, right? Because the Panthers are paying all the bonus money. They just have to take on the salary. Is that how it works?
yeah, so I mean he'd be very cheap. So couldn't imagine
Yeah.
it's a salary cap thing.
And
But I
Mike
mean,
Tomlin, I feel like they're going to hang on to Russ because Mike Tomlin wants a veteran quarterback. You get rid of Russ, like who do you have? In case Justin Fields goes down.
that's true. So I mean Zach Wilson to me makes way more sense than
Yeah.
than
Yeah, I mean, third
Bryce
quarterback
Young.
in Denver, you can get him way cheaper than you can probably get Bryce Young because knowing David Tepper, he's probably going to let his ego get in the way of getting rid of Bryce Young, and he's going to get nothing in return. Just keep him on the roster.
What a disaster.
Yep. I finally started Chase Young, and apparently Chase Brown, and so did apparently the fucking Bengals because they figured out that he's the best running back in that backfield.
Yeah, Chase
15
Brown rocks.
carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zach Moss stinks. 15 carries, 51 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. Ass. Keep giving Chase Brown the ball.
Same thing with Braylon Allen over Brees Hall.
Same thing
Brees
with
Hall's
Braylon
washed.
Allen. Mm-hmm. Brees Hall, Iowa State, washed.
And that is a conflict for me. But
Mm-hmm.
if it comes
I
down
bet it
to,
is. I bet it is.
but if it comes down to tis the lamb season and Team Shanahan.
Oh yeah, I don't really have too much. I didn't really watch too much of this game, if I'm being honest. I did see a couple of the highlights. Jamar Chase fucking had a big play. That was a cool touchdown run that he had. Andy Dalton slinging the fucking rock around. That's my QB2 on there on my fucking team.
That was a good pickup.
Mhm.
Yeah, Joe Burrow might not be good.
Whoa, okay. I don't know about that.
He's just oh, that was too far. That was fantasy team manager Shanahan
Okay.
talking about that. But he doesn't look great. And that to me is a problem. Because
Okay.
I feel like a bulk of his passing yards today came from that one Jamar Chase catch where he bounced off of 7 different defenders.
Yeah, like 63 yards, I think it was.
Yeah, and up until this point, the first week, he was actually bad against the Patriots somehow. And I know week one's weird, but he just hasn't looked great. And as somebody who was labeled the Mahomes um, destroyer Mahomes or however you want to call it, he he's not in the conversation anymore.
I think you think he's already become a game manager? Was Tyler Boyd the piece holding that offense together?
I guess so. I guess so.
Tyler
I
Boyd
don't
and Joe
know.
Mixon were the only reason those offenses were humming. Who would have thought?
I'm just not impressed. As somebody who would love to have a villain out there to take down Patrick Mahomes, it's not Joe Burrow.
I just need Josh Allen to stop looking like a goddamn Labrador Retriever every time he's about to do something dumb. Because you can always tell when he's about to do something dumb, and you can tell by how he looks on his hitch versus drop back. As soon as he hits that last step, you know if he sees exactly what he wants, or if he's about to just say fuck it. And it's so fucking telling. It's honestly uncanny how easy it is to figure out.
So funny.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I love Josh Allen. Yeah,
I love him so much, dude. I wish he was the Broncos quarterback so bad. I was so wrong about that guy. And I regret it. But I think we talked about this before. He would have been fucked as a Broncos quarterback.
Yeah, no shot does he work out.
Yeah.
Who was that? Was that Vance Joseph?
I think Vance Joseph, yeah.
Gosh, what a disaster that was. Yeah, no shot. He turns into Josh Allen now.
Yeah. Next game, Houston 24, Jaguars 20. I'm done. But I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out on Trevor Lawrence. I'm out on the Jaguars. Doug Peterson probably getting fired this year. Just take him to England and get him out of my face. I'm just so done with them.
Yeah, the Jags. I thought going into this week, I'm like, there's a path if they win today, but they didn't. So now it's over.
Mm-hmm. Houston Texans, I think they are honestly Super Bowl contenders. You get Joe Mixon back in the middle of the season, you get him healthy. Nico Collins is a fucking dog. You still have Stephon Diggs, which he's not going to be happy that Nico Collins got 12 balls. I'm just going to say that. He's not going to be happy. He got a touchdown. Guess who didn't get a touchdown? Stephon Diggs. That's going to be trouble in the locker room.
And then Tank Dell is also on the team.
Yeah, he was out today, but yeah, I forgot that he's their third wide receiver when he was one of their best receivers last year. Nico Collins is just a dog. He hates playing football against people because he'll just run right through them. He hates you. If you're playing on the other team, he hates you. Yeah, I mean this ended up being a really close game. I can't say that I watched a ton of it because I was occupied with the Broncos, just that slugfest going on up there in East Rutherford. But yeah, Texans look good. Jacksonville looks bad. It really is the only takeaways. Houston had to score in the fourth quarter to kind of take the lead and put the game away. But Jacksonville played as well as you can against divisional opponents, still lost, and their season's pretty much done.
I mean, it is done. They're 0-4.
Mm-hmm.
You could scratch your way back from 1-3 if you go on a generational run, but 0-4 is that's toast.
Yeah, and there's nothing they can do about it. Trevor Lawrence, I'm just so fucking done with that guy. Bust. Generational talent, my ass.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is.
I've been looking at stats and everything, and I just switched back to the podcast tab, and I just saw you doing something with your hand in your lap, just all of a sudden. It's okay. Moving on to the afternoon slate, just a few games left. Commanders, Cardinals. Commanders 42, Cardinals 14. Dude, the Commanders are a fucking wagon.
Yeah, they're good.
Jaden Daniels 26 for 30 after he fucking he only missed 3 passes last week too, if I remember correctly. Like he is just on fire.
Is there something to drafting the second best quarterback? Is that actually the formula?
Yeah, it's like everyone's hype on one guy. No, I just think you put maybe there's a psychology, and I'll let you go in just a second. I just had this thought. Maybe there's a psychology to it where, like, if you draft the number one guy, you think, oh, this guy can work in any system. Like, he has all the talent in the world. We can make him fit. Whereas, like, if you're drafting the second best guy, you like him because you don't have to. You don't have the same reliance on him that he can work in everything. So you try to make a system that works around him, and you go and get a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, who essentially, I mean, if you really think about it, if Kyler Murray was just a little bit taller, him and Jaden Daniels have similar games, and that Jaden Daniels run the Kyler Murray offense, and Jaden Daniels is running it better than Kyler Murray ever did.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I think that's a good answer to the solution, which is crazy that like not one team has like thought of that drafting the number one overall quarterback. Well, and just kind of what I was saying about Caleb Williams is that I think he's going to be fine, but when you draft a guy that high, he can't be just fine, or he can't just be
Mm-hmm.
good. He could barely be really good. If he really wants like a second major contract. Um, but Jaden Daniels doesn't feel like he it feels like just fine would be fine.
Yeah,
And now he's
and
of course gone above and beyond that. And I think it also, perception is also the other rookie quarterbacks haven't looked elite in the same kind of way. So that also helps his case. So I think he looks better than most.
no, absolutely, but I mean, I think it's just so impressive how efficient he is. He's just not. I mean, the ball's just not hitting the ground. Did they break that streak of straight drives with a score?
They were pretty close.
Like, yeah, I'm not entirely certain, but yeah, that offense is humming. Back to back big wins. I know the Cardinals. Everyone thought the Cardinals are going to be good for some reason this year. If you just look at the roster, Cannon's still their coach. So I just don't know why you would think that was the case.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray had one good game. Call of Duty's coming out soon, so he's getting his hands ready. He showed up early September. He's like, all right, I gotta start preparing. We
Yeah, I
got
gotta
we got to
lock
be
in.
dropping in soon. Yeah, this was a drubbing. Commanders look really fucking good. 3-1. Do you think they can make the playoffs?
I think yeah, absolutely.
Because right now they're the best
Absolutely.
team in that conference or that division.
I think so. I think the Cowboys
Oh,
will
Derrick
figure
Henry
it
just
out.
broke one.
Oh, Derrick Henry.
Oh boy.
The Giants are toast.
Yep.
The Eagles are
Eagles. We don't
toast.
really know what their deal is. And then Cowboys stink,
Yeah, the Cowboys do stink.
which is so
Yeah, I
funny.
don't. Yeah, I don't see why not. I think, and the NFC as a whole is kind of weird. Where like 9-8 probably get you in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean 9-8, 8-9 probably win you a division somewhere,
Right.
and that's just kind of how it is. Um, anything else you want to say about the game before we move on? I pretty
No.
much I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
I
done
love
with that
Jaden
game.
Daniels.
Yeah, I love Daniel Daniels. Love watching him play. Glad like the Raiders or the Chargers didn't get him. That would have just been miserable.
I can't wait for the Raiders to draft Shedeur Sanders.
All right, actually, I want to jump to Chiefs Chargers because I know he didn't play in this game, but I have a thought about. No, he did play in this game. Justin Herbert. I thought about
Yeah,
Justin Herbert. Is Justin Herbert just long hair Philip Rivers?
I can see that.
I mean, rocket arm. He can make all the throws. He's a leader. He's got all the quarterback talent in the world, but he just refuses to fucking win games late. That the Chargers still lose in the most horrific fashion possible. They can't clutch anything whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's a good comp.
They're addicted to drafting Philip Rivers.
Yeah, which is very funny because like Philip Rivers, like if you look at his resume and his stats, like that's an awesome quarterback. But if you're a fan of a team that employs Philip Rivers, you're like, this fucking sucks.
This fucking sucks, and it sure does. And Oh man, yeah, they had a drive last 2:49 at the end of the game. 2 minutes 49 seconds. They went 5 plays, 11 yards, and punted away. They never got the ball back.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's just because they were winning. What, they were up 10-0 most of the game. You get to halftime, Chiefs score right before the half, and then kick a field goal to tie it. It's 10-10, and the Chiefs, just score with about 5 minutes left to play, or 6 minutes left to play, and that's pretty much it.
Well, and to me that seemed like such a Brandon Staley way to lose,
I
but
know,
he's not there
he's not
anymore.
there. It's hardball,
Like,
dude. It's the Chargers. There's something about that uniform that just makes everything just bad for everybody.
yeah.
Such fucking losers. We've been talking about Rashid Rice highlights. We know what happened to him. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards didn't really do shit. The Jim Harbaugh rushing experience did not happen today. Who would have? I don't know what's going on there. I thought we pound the rock down there in Michigan West.
I mean, if you're crippled by J.J. McCarthy, you do.
Mm. Oh God, dude, it's tractor Cedo season. Everyone beware. Did the Broncos play the fucking Ravens this year?
I hope not. I
I
have no
hope
idea
not.
who the Broncos play.
Fuck it, Will Barton will meet him in the fucking A gap. I'm not scared. Wait, is it Will Barton, Corey Barton?
Well, I
Doesn't
think.
matter. Um, what else? We have 2 games left. Which one do you want to talk about? Niners or Raiders?
Niners for sure. That
Bang bang Niner game. Brock Purdy, 15-27, 288. Your boy. Let's talk about his performance. What do you think he played?
he's awesome. I my fantasy strategy of just getting as many San Francisco 49ers players kind of rocks. George Kittle had a touchdown. I accidentally drafted Jordan Mason. That might be the
You
acquisition of the year.
accidentally drafted him?
I I don't know if I told you this, but after Christian McCaffrey went down or it was announced that he wasn't playing, I went to go see if I could put in a claim for Jordan Mason and then find out he was already on my roster. I was like, hot dog. And he's awesome. He's been awesome.
I think running behind that offensive line, anyone could look awesome.
I think that's true. I think I'm going to give Tyler a trade request, see if he wants in on the Jordan Mason action.
For Christian McCaffrey?
For Christian McCaffrey, first round pick, and probably something else.
Damn, you're just addicted to acquiring. You're going to have all the first round picks next year.
I mean, that's the goal. That's the
That's
the goal.
crazy. I'll tell you what, I'll give you DeAndre Swift and you can give me a first round pick.
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, he had 29 points today. He's on the up. He's on the rise. But you also have to give me Jordan Mason. That's kind of
Well, not Jordan Mason. Not Jordan
okay.
Mason. He's well.
What about Mason Rudolph? I'll take Mason Rudolph instead. Just give me a Mason.
I think he is still available. I think you go get him. Let me pull up Tyler's team. Who else do I want? Let's propose his trade so he can have Jordan Mason. Of course, I'll take the ancient Christian McCaffrey off his plates. His first round pick.
I said Shane Steichen. I meant Shane Waldron. That's who the OC of the Bears is. Shane Steichen's what, the coach of the Colts?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just want to clean that up.
All right. See if he bites.
I'm rooting for you. Good thing. I mean, he probably doesn't watch this, so.
No shot.
Yeah. But this was an absolute beatdown. This is what everyone thought it was going to be. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled the ball yet again. Apparently, he's fumbled every single game this goddamn season. Also on one of my fantasy teams. But the San Francisco 49ers showed up, took care of business, and that was pretty much that.
It is funny that that Nick Bosa gets his first strip sack of the year against the first black quarterback he plays.
Yeah, it is funny. You're right. I didn't realize. That's insane. All right. I just saw a stat line. Bo Nix 5 for 10, -9 yards. The haters are fucking sick right now, dude. He's still. Hey, who's 2-2? Who has 2 wins? Yeah, that's what I thought. That guy. Yeah, I mean the Patriots are 1-3. It's whatever I thought they were going to be. San Francisco 49ers didn't really expect them to be 2-2, but you know, 2 games, 2 tough losses on the road. Whatever, come back home.
Yeah,
Take care of business against a bad team. That's what good teams do.
yeah, and I mean, just like we started at the beginning of the show, the first month of the season barely matters. You can't start 0-4, um, and it's better to start 4-0. But if you fall somewhere in the middle, you're fine. And the Niners are 2-2. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, still plenty of season left. Like we're not even a quarter of the way through. I know technically week 4 in the past has been the quarter mark, but sometime this week is going to be the quarter mark, and you know we'll see where everybody is on Wednesday.
Yeah, what does that come out to? Like 4.25 games throughout the year?
Yeah, something like that.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I don't like that anymore. Yeah,
I really hate the 17th game and what they've done with the playoffs just because it was so mentally everything just fit so well. Um, 'Cause you got your A6 division games, you play a division in the AFC and a division in the NFC. Bada bing, bada boom. You're at 16 games. Now they're like, and there's another one in there. Well, we'll figure that out
yeah,
later.
yeah. No, it doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't like it. It's tough to keep track of. England games start next week, or London games start next week. I don't know if I'm looking forward to that, honestly.
Me neither. I've never, outside of the time that the Broncos did, where they wore that atrocious white top blue bottom fit,
Yeah,
and outside of the Toy Story game rocked.
yeah, yeah. Of course it
I've
did.
never given a single shit about the London
Yeah,
games
I don't think I've ever.
unless,
Yeah, aside for the Broncos one, I don't think I've ever like watched one.
yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, because I mean they're always on NFL Network. I don't have fucking NFL Network. Dude. What do I look like? A person who has cable? No.
How do you typically watch games?
NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube.
Not even YouTube TV?
No, I don't have YouTube TV. I just got YouTube.
Okay.
But I have YouTube Premium, which I highly recommend. I don't know if I've recommended that to you before. There's a PSA. No free ads, but YouTube Premium, way worth
Yeah, I think that gets slept on.
for sure.
I I sleep on it. I don't partake, but I think when I get rich, that's going to be one of the first things I do.
Yeah, true. Like I don't pay for it. My mom pays for it, so like
There we
that's
go.
why I'm able to
Even
reap
better.
the benefits.
Well, I mean, let me get on. If you just want to send me your mom's phone number, I'll ask
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. Um, last game of the day. Let's wrap it up. Browns 16, Raiders 20. Raiders are 2-2. Browns 1-3. I gotta be honest, I didn't care about this game at all. This is one of those games I just didn't give a fuck about.
Not even a little bit. I had it on the TV because of the weird YouTube TV multi-view. It had to, if I wanted Sunday Ticket or Red Zone and the Broncos, I also had to have the Raiders game. And yeah,
Mm.
I could not tell you a single thing that happened other than
But you had to have the
awesome
Broncos and
football.
the Raiders. The Raiders were an afternoon game. They made you put a dead game on your
Or
box.
maybe not. Or no, maybe it wasn't the Broncos. Maybe it was the afternoon. Was it? Okay, yeah, it was the afternoon game. Well, then I think it was just how. Yeah, I got that wrong. You see, that's how little I paid attention to this game. I didn't even remember what
Yeah.
time it
Yes.
was. Um, yeah, I think that was the only way to get the quad box with Red Zone because there's
Okay,
only
I
so
got
many
you.
games.
Yeah, I think there's only 4 afternoon games.
So the Nielsen ratings will say that I watched the game, but I can assure
Mm-hmm.
you I did not.
But hey, yeah, the Raiders won. They've actually have a lot more wins than I thought they would all season. So kudos to them.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
does
good on
suck that
them,
we
I
have the same
guess.
record as them. I'm not going to lie to you. It makes it doesn't make me feel as good about our record. But Jerry Judy had 6 catches today, and I didn't think that was possible.
This is probably a good day to not have Tyler on the podcast. Jerry Judy propagandist.
It sucks too because I still have a Jerry Judy jersey.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I know I just need to fucking change it to a Knicks jersey, but god damn it, like I feel like such a loser every time I wear it.
I mean, in your defense, it's not like it was a great wide receiver draft class, anyways.
Imagine having a Justin Jefferson jersey right now.
I I was just talking to because Drew's a Vikings fan. I'm like uh, I really thought like the Broncos were gonna have to draft Justin Jefferson because he was the best wide receiver available at the time. Like I thought they were gonna have to settle for him.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, well we wanted Jerry Judy or or Henry Ruggs. Um, but I guess we'll take Josh Jefferson. I guess we need a wide receiver. He is a wide receiver. We'll
Yo.
make it work probably.
God, could you
Dumb.
imagine if Henry Ruggs wasn't taken by the Raiders? I think we'd take him too. Wait,
Yeah,
right? We had to pick before the Raiders, or we had to
yeah.
pick after the Raiders in that
Pick after
draft.
the Raiders, they took Henry Ruggs, and I could not believe that Jerry Judy had fallen to the Broncos. I could
Yeah,
not
I was
believe it.
stoked, dude. That's why I got his fucking jersey. Yep. Now Henry Ruggs. Shout out the federal penal system.
Yeah.
Um, Sad.
I
Gardner
mean,
Minshew.
just think if
Go
he played
ahead.
for the Chiefs, he'd probably still be playing.
That's true. Yeah, he was. All he had to do was just walk away, like run away.
Yeah.
Have a getaway car. That's what you need to know. Just always have a getaway car, and you'll be fine later on. Not going to miss a down of football. Fucking Chiefs, dude. Fuck them. I can't believe they won another shitty game where they played bad and still fucking won. Like they're just gonna keep doing that till they win all 18, all 17, all fucking 20 games this season.
Yeah. I guess the bright spot of where I'm at with my feelings towards the Chief is that now nothing really matters because like it hurt when they won their first Super Bowl. That sucked. It hurt when they had won their fifth straight division title after the Broncos won their four, and then once they win their third Super Bowl, it's like they can't. Every every nightmare I've had about the Kansas City Chiefs has already happened.
Mm-hmm. Now we're just creating new ones.
Yeah. So now it's just like I would just like them to win on merit and not nonsense penalty markers at the end of games.
Preach, brother. Um, well, we can wrap this up unless you have anything else you want to add about any of the games we talked about.
I don't think so. I like football. It
Yeah,
was a
shout
good
out
day for
football.
it.
It's good week, good weekend for football. I was at it, so we were at a bar. My mom was in town. We were at a bar. I was invited by some friends, and it ended up being just like this really like just college bar. Like it was just packed. It was just a bunch of just it was whatever. But everyone was locked into the Georgia Alabama game, and the end of that game was absolute fucking
That
insanity.
was so awesome.
And it was just such a cool place to be in that time because there was half the bar was on one side, the other half of the bar was on the other side. Everyone was just going fucking nuts. Everything that happened, it was crazy.
That game was awesome. I love
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer undefeated against now Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, and some other really good coach, and Steve Sarkisian.
Mm.
So it's a good roster.
Wait, he is? Oh, yeah, because they beat him in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Yep, you're right.
I
Damn.
had someone comment on one of our Matt Rule videos that if Nebraska had fired Scott Frost in 2021, um, there's a good chance that they hire Kalen DeBoer instead of waiting till the next coaching year and
Yeah.
hiring Matt Rule. So that kept me up for a long time.
So, wouldn't at that point, and I'm not throwing shade, maybe I'm just naive, but Washington to Nebraska seems like a lateral move, does it not?
Well, no, he's got the Washington job that year.
Oh,
So it
okay,
would have
okay,
been
okay, okay.
either Washington or Nebraska.
Got you. Okay. Where'd he come from? God, he went to Alabama in 2 years? Jesus, talk about a fucking glow
Yeah.
up.
I mean, went to a national championship game.
Well, still. I go to a national
Um,
championship. I go to a national championship game in fucking NCAA 20 or college football 25, and I get offensive coordinator offers.
that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'll win three in a
Shout
row, still get offensive coordinator offers.
shout out Piani Vodatel. He just got forced retired after 30 years of service in the game. So shout
That's
out Piani.
crazy. You've already gone through 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a grind. But yeah,
Were you sad when it ended?
very sad. I was empty. Especially because it didn't end as well as I would have hoped it would. But
Did you know the end was coming, or was it a surprise?
no, I knew that they cap it at 30, so I was building up to it. Like the last 2 years, I spent zero time recruiting, so that was cool. Just got to focus on the ball.
Yeah, just focus on the side of the ball.
Yeah,
That's funny.
but shout out Piani. But yeah, up until year 30 was getting offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator offers for some reason.
That's crazy. We just want to take a step back, hang out with the
Yes,
kids. Only spend 20 hours a week at the offices, for 21 hours a week at the office.
that's right.
Speaking of our college football, though, we have a matchup this week.
Battle of the Belt.
Battle of the Belt. Is that really what it is? It's a
Yeah.
rivalry game between us.
hmm
I'm gonna fucking eat your ass, dude. I can't wait.
Dude,
I've been
I
running game plans against you all fucking week. I've had the bye week to prepare.
I just wish that it was a home game for me because I would love to have you see the Brandon Dome.
Maybe next year. Oh, I can't believe you fucking put your face. Is it not annoying just seeing your face every time you play that game?
Um, that part's not ideal, but if I don't like it, then I know everybody else is gonna like it, and
Yeah.
the stadium's worse. The stadium is much worse than just like the uniforms, but luckily it's in South Alabama, so you got me this time.
Yep. And the boys are cooking. The boys are looking good. So I've already played 2 games against opponents in our league. Have you played any yet?
No, I was supposed to play Brooke, but you know how they go.
Oh, ooh. Yeah, RIP.
Yeah, sorry.
But I can't remember who I played. It was Jake and Shane, right? Shane and Jake.
Yeah, so it sounds like Jake got an advantage because of your poor piss management.
Yeah, well, so I thought the halftime was going to be longer, and the bathroom isn't that far away, and then Buddy just kicks it, and so usually in the past, like if you don't move your guy, the guy's going to move for you and just take off with it. That didn't happen. I got tackled at the 2-yard line. Got a little frazzled. I was like, fuck, because it was a back and forth game up to that point. I was like, okay, I can't like stall here. I got to make a play. Basically did exactly what I didn't want to do and just gave him the ball right at the 5-yard line. Almost held him. He was able to punch it in. And from there on, there were a couple things that happened that really fucking pissed me off. Not necessarily him cheesing. It was just more of like, just the way the game plays. I had a defensive back playing a deep third, and for some reason he still got beat by the defensive back or by the wide receiver, and that just kind of pissed me off. And there was a couple plays where I fumbled it, or no, he fumbled it, and the ball literally bounced around for goddamn 10 seconds. Like nobody could recover it, even though 5 of my guys were there before any of his guys were there. He ends up recovering it, and I was furious. I ended up making him punts, so like it was no harm, no foul. But I want to say a drive in the very next quarter, I got hit from behind. The ball just fucking bounces right to his guy, and his guy just scoops it up. And I was like, well, what the fuck is that? So yeah, there were a couple things there, and yeah, I made a couple mistakes too. Don't get me wrong. So that was a very winnable game for me. Both games have been pretty good. I was beating the fuck out of Shane early on. It kind of took my foot off the gas pedal a little bit, let him back into the game. So it ended up being an exciting one. But yeah, I kind of it's been a fun experience so far.
Yeah, so far so good. I did realize that it's week 7 and I haven't signed a single recruit because all of my hours are into 3 5 stars that tell me I'm their first choice, but I have a feeling I'm not going to get any of them. And it's going to be week 12, and I have a recruiting class of 0 players.
Yeah, I have a couple signees. I'm trying to balance it out. I think I'm in a good spot as we get into the late season push. I will say, I don't know if I should tell you this. I have a lot of recruits coming to our game. A lot of recruits coming to our game. Battle for the belt, baby.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, we nailed down a time. When do you got time to play this week?
I mean, tomorrow's not great, but any day after that.
Okay. Let's shoot for Tuesday, maybe. Are you good late night? Because I get off late.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
was gonna suggest late night.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, so I'll text you on Tuesday. See when we're available. Sound good?
Sweet. Let's do it.
Yep. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this bad boy up?
Nope.
Okay.
I love football.
Love football. So, by the way, in case you guys were wondering, we are keeping count. Trevor Murphy owes us 15 thoughts the very next time he's on. If he's not on next week, he'll owe us 20 thoughts, and that will keep adding up. So you will hear Trevor Murphy's thoughts. Don't think you won't, because you will. I promise you. We will hear him think out loud.
Is there interest on that, or is it just compounding?
Just compounding. I think.
Okay.
I don't think we're adding too much interest on it. I had to speak to our accountant and get those numbers sorted
You
out.
should really
But
get like a financial manager on the show.
let's
That would
just
help us out with that.
imagine if we had one of those.
Oh man, he rejected my trade.
What a bitch! Tell him to go fucking back. Tell him to go back to the kiddie pool on the cruise ship. Well, Brandon, always a pleasure. To everybody listening, we appreciate it. Shout out Tyler out there in Alaska somewhere. Shout out Murphy up there on a pole somewhere. Prayers up. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Like, subscribe, keep listening. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Happy Sunday.
Go Big Red.